Hey, Welsh Dragon Metals here. Today I'll be showing how to pour silver solder sticks and how to solder jump rings. I actually made this silver solder myself. That's what it's made of. So we've got 5% silver in there, so it's pretty good stuff. Made some solder sticks already there. Need to melt this down and pour it into this ingot mould. Soldering paste is required for this, as these solder sticks have no rosin within them, so it'll make it quite difficult in order to solder these. Some soldered rings there. That's what they will look like when finished. I've quite a few to get through. Probably do as many as I can. Don't need much tools for this. Some gloves and tongs and such are also handy. This needs to be heated. Have to dry off any moisture first. Moisture inside of these moulds can be extremely bad, as it will cause the water vapour to explode in your face, which will kill you. So, it does pay to do some research and watch some pours. You don't want to kill yourself. As this high carbon steel has a habit of absorbing water vapour at a frightening speed. Due to its steel is extremely conductive, so it's a cold sink as well as a heat sink, I guess. Ooh, too high. Quite a bit of borax in here. Need to get that to react first. Bubbly. Borax is just a type of salty glass material. Well, it liquefies to a salt anyway. There's already some borax in here, but more helps. Makes a shinier ingot. Lots of bits of borax around. That stuff will just be blown out of the way in a minute. So we'll pour this. Big crucible, as you can see. Just tin inside here. These tongs are actually coated in borax on the ends. Prevents metal sticking to them. And it also helps to maintain purity. Besides these steel tongs, it takes thousands of degrees in order to melt these tongs into the mix. So that's not actually possible. Okay, that's floating nicely on the borax layer now. Pour-ins. Don't actually need much of this silver material. There we go. Nice cap on that, as you can see. Apply some heat, give a little oscillate on the sides. Which will give a better formation to the solder stick. So, not too much work to do that, as you can see. Need something to cut that with though. Where's my pliers? one tool that I did forget. These have a nice angle upon them, these clippers, which make them perfect for snipping the tops of these sprues. And that is what the melted solder looks like. Show that shortly. Borax everywhere. So, a glove is required for this part in order to undo the securing bolt. Thumb's not in there properly. There we go. There we go. Still very hot, that U-clamp. And there's the nice ingot, as you can see. Remove that. Clippers, I think. There we go. Now I need to snip that end off there. Some screw on there also. This will cool quite fast. It'll be usable pretty soon. So there's the cap. It's actually quite cool. And that sprue will be remelted also into a new silver solder bar, which I'll need a few. Quite a bit of sprue stuck on the bottom there, which I want to go back into the crucible. Just sort of peels off, as you can see. If I hit that with the blowtorch, it'll just make the bar look strange and weird and malformed, and it might cause a drip in the wrong place when I'm welding. So, best to clean off that sprue material if you can. Making your own solder, like I am. This is a different kind of solder though, jeweler's solder. It's not like the type generally used for electronics. That's usually only a couple of % silver, if less. Put these aside, because I need to move my gloves. The steel is very hot and I need this space to work with. Quite a bit left in there. Maybe another couple of bars, but I have to make and solder literally hundreds of these things, but I'm only doing a few at the moment, as it was actually a test just to see how it would turn out. Actually haven't got that much rosin left, may need to get more. Just have all these rings, all of which I have different ideas for example these, which I'll probably turn into a tree of life. Should be that way round, single piece, made of copper. You won't actually see the weld because it will be covered in wrapping. So, it doesn't really matter if there's a weld there, and either way it can be cleaned with a file quite easily. That's the problem, and you don't like the appearance of the blob of silver and tin alloy. It's attaching the blob of rosin there. It's like a sort of goo, soldering paste, similar materials. Just using a cocktail stick, toothpick to attach some of the rosin. It'll evaporate off very, very quickly anyway. So make sure that's nicely aligned for soldering. angle for this, not too much. There's a few ways of doing this. You can also hold it in a pair of helping hands if you're having issues. You don't want it too hot with these burners either, because this tin melts very, very quickly and very easily. You'll see. If anything too much went on there, you can see. So I'll have to remove a bit of that, which will go back into the solder mix. That's a very nice weld. That did nicely. Ooh, actually it's a bit off on that angle. Ugh, damn it. That can't happen. Which means you need to open these pliers, squeeze it a little while I heat it up. There we go. Much, much better weld. Pretty even. So, yeah, that's quite hot still, but not too hot. Hot enough that you can pick it up, anyway. And there's the weld, very nice. You need to do lots and lots of them. I will use that blob that is existing there already from the solder stick. Just need to add some rows in. This is not a soldering plate, by the way. It's a centimetre thick steel plate which was used for, I believe, outdoor pizza oven baking. It's a strange sort of salvage find, but it's seen much use in forging and furnace works, and jewellery works as well, for example soldering like I am now. In which case I'm going to be doing lots more. Even though this torch says it goes to 509 degrees, that's a lie. This goes to much, much higher than that. Otherwise it'd be not possible for me to melt the aluminium that I have melted with this. So it goes to at least several hundred degrees. Blob. Yeah. The side, it needs a little bit more. Perfect. Gloves ain't really necessary for a lot of this. Only the ingot pouring, in which case you need gloves in order to remove the securing bolt. So I've got thin ones here also. I was thinking of making hooped earrings with these, with a nice gem of some sort in the middle, or semi-precious stone. But they all still need to be soldered, so that is what I am doing. Times many, because this is going to take a very long time. The amount of rings that I need. I need 100 of these or more, soldered closed. More the better. I have thousands, but I'm definitely not doing that many. Quite reactive, the rosing, as you can see. That's not closed enough. Damn it. It's quite a bit thinner, this wire. there's too much of a gap on that one. I have to resolder that in a minute. Nice green coloration of the copper there. You know it's high grade copper when it gives off a nice green glow like that. Damn it, it didn't weld. You can see this is going to be quite tricky with the thinner rings. Not so all the way to close that, maybe it's too hot this flame. Try and move the blob to it. Not enough rosin on there either that I can see. Got it. Bit more rosin on that, see if I can get it to liquefy around the edges a bit more. It's being daft. There we go, perfect. I need to lift that. So even the smaller rings can be soldered quite nicely. That's good. Good news. Big ones next. These are thick ones rather. Similar to the first ones that I did. A little bit brighter today, which is why I'm doing some jewellery works. Where's my cocktail stick? Burned on the other end there, it doesn't matter, it's just carbon. Anything that I'll add as a lubricant for the solder. Act as a type of rosin itself, rather. Little bits of solder from other soldering jobs here, mixed in with this rosin. I could probably get a load of metal out of that if needed. Nice, got that carefully. Those torches, you kind of need to keep an eye on them, as you can really only keep them running for about 5 minutes before the end starts liquefying. So, unless you want to buy a new tip, I advise you definitely keep the use of it limited and let it cool down in between uses. It take longer to do jobs rather than using a more professional rig, but butane gas is extremely cheap, so. And these containers and bottles much easier to get hold of. These things are also used to make things like toast. So. Weird angle. Need to squish that while I heat it. a little bit thick on there. It's still quite good. Probably do better or add more rows in for a cleaner weld, which I'll probably do now. Next one I'll put on the line also. Ooh, some of these are quite toasty. Oh, this plate is getting quite toasty. Very good welding plate though. It's incredibly good heat sink, centimetre thick steel. Usually designed for an extremely powerful oven. Solder stick now needed. Way too much come off on that. Big blob. We only needed a small bit. That one's done nicely. Next one was done previously, still in liquid state. That's the rosin, lowering the melting temperature, I believe. Micro, not too much there. Need the weld to hold after all. Bit dodgy this split ring, this one, jump ring. As I said, it can get a bit hot. And welding a bit more difficult. Appears to be a better weld. Cleaner. Yes, blowing on it does actually drive it and speed it up. This is just tin and a little bit of silver mixed in, a few percent. Although there is an actual percent of silver in this, so I put it in there myself. Too much rosin. Piezo igniters never last on these little jet torches either. Should be noted. While it's not perfect, it will do, since it will be wrapped up anyway. A copper spiral, probably all the way around them. Make them heavier, thicker, and higher quality. But soldered rings sell for more anyway. You can make nicer jewellery with soldered rings, but there's quite a bit more complex. It's time consuming. I'll show in later videos some other time. I'll at least get through half of these for the end video. Then I'm going to picking up things, then tongs. So really grab my tweezers, although they'll probably just liquefy. A bit of aluminium, which this torch can melt. Smaller, more usable bits that I've created. The solder. Pile of rows in like that. Even though it says there's going to be fumes and stuff, there ain't really fumes with soldering unless you use a soldering iron. In which case it has time to permeate into your base. There's also good ventilation where I am. I'm practically right next to a window. So. And I'm not going to be doing this every single day. I'm going to be doing it now and then until I've finished soldering what I need. So, not too much danger, if any. Blob on that. All these will be reworked most likely if there's any deformations. Saying that, I haven't soldered in a very long time either. Since I was a teenager, so 10 or so years ago. And that was for a completely different thing, electronics. Ooh, that smells nice. Burning cocktail stick. I'm not sure what it's made of. I think it's made of balsa wood. Nice smell to it. Next. Only a few left. Half an hour or so of welding. Still need to make more solder sticks most likely. As there doesn't appear to be enough, I'm going to get some tweezers. Should work, as long as I don't expose them to the flame, otherwise they'll liquefy. There's actually a bit much on that. Not too much solder on there. That's quite warm. All the solderings. As expected. Still, all the heat seems to be flying towards the end of the plate rather than towards me. I suppose that's a good thing. Good burn angle, I suppose. Toasty work, most definitely. Toasty pile of jump rings. That one didn't close properly, did it? Damn it. That'll happen. Tried soldering multiple ones at the same time, as you've seen. Huh. The piezoelectric lighter works today. Cool. I generally don't use it though. Couple of these thinner ones left. Wow, these are quite toasty, very thin. And these being quite annoying to solder, weld, you want to call it. That was also a bit misshapen. It's the heat causing that. It's a very small gap. It's 1 millimeter ideally. No. Solder blob. issues with this one again. Give it a resin, see if that helps. Not really. It can be annoying when this happens. Surprisingly difficult to weld these ones, and it's getting so hot that it's actually almost liquefying the copper. That's not good. Copper is not what I'm melting today. Torch is surprisingly hot. That one does not want to solder, like the other ones. It's a cold joint. Redo that at a later time. Now I'm hot and bothered, so I'm all done. And there's a mower outside. So quick inspection of all them rings. Quite nice. And that was how to make solder sticks. And solder jump rings. With a blowtorch, not a soldering iron. So next time,